The Real Ghostbusters Manhattan Madness is a bootleg DVD of 7 episodes of the series, and boy, is it weird. I am super excited to be able to do a video on this because boy, is this DVD not easy to get a hold of. And sometimes with bootleg media, there's not a whole lot to say other than it's just a poor knockoff copy of said thing, but here, there's quite a bit going on. And while a lot of bootleg media of course wants to trick you initially into thinking that maybe it's legit, this thing goes in some strange directions to try and achieve this. This is also one that proudly flashes a company name at you, which is not as common. And they've kept all the warnings and stuff about unauthorized distribution, which, you know, is ironic.
Egon, can they do that?
I think our trademark is being infringed.
They've also included a bunch of the names that were associated specifically with the Ghostbusters movie, which you're not really gonna see as often on a real Ghostbusters release. There are some releases that do so, and that's 100% why it's showing up on this bootleg. These couple of UK DVDs I have list who wrote and produced each episode, but they also list Ivan Reitman because he produced and directed the movie. So OS Films decided to put on their DVD, OS Films presents an Ivan Reitman production, The Real Ghostbusters, which of course is not exactly correct. There's just so much about this DV that doesn't make any sense, really. One big thing, of course, is its insistence on using this warped version of the No Ghost logo. They go out of their way to avoid using the normal version of the No Ghost and use this warped one like it means anything legally or something. And speaking of legality, they even made their own version of a warning screen complete with warped No Ghost logo. The way they make sure to show this warped version of the No Ghost logo is like they're trying to skirt around copyright or something. But, you know, a warped version of the Ghostbusters No Ghost logo is still the Ghostbusters No Ghost logo. Now, they didn't go so far as to edit the No Ghost logo in the actual episodes because that'd be a lot of work with the arm patches and everything like that. But probably the craziest and most amusing bit of them doing this logo swapping is them editing it into the intro. Now, obviously, you can see the normal version of the logo right until it suddenly switches to OS Films' turbulent displace warped version. They have also completely overhauled the ending of the intro logo, with the text being super distorted here. If you really pay attention, you can also notice that they just crossfade into the last shot of the intro where Peter, Ray, and Winston are winking. This was likely done because they needed to change the last frame into a still to do their flip transition to the new logo. And you can even see the black outline of the distortion logo before it flips into place. They have also replaced every episode's title card, which now appear before the intro instead of directly after like they should. These title cards are branded specifically under the Real Ghostbusters Manhattan Madness, and they put different scans from the UK Real Ghostbusters comics as the background. It's a bunch of extra work to accomplish nothing, basically. But here is the largest example of them going way beyond for this bizarre bootleg DVD set. They have made a custom intro for it, which feels more like a fan-made thing rather than people trying to rip off episodes to sell for themselves. And if you're wondering what source OS Films used to get the episodes for their DVD, well, it's right here. These two UK compilation DVDs, The Real Ghostbusters Adventures in Slime and Space and The Real Ghostbusters Sea Fright, are exactly where they got all their episodes. If you look at the listings for the episodes on these two UK discs, it's exactly the same as what's on the OS Films disc, save for one episode. And one nice thing is we know exactly when this came out because OS Films nicely stamped the year on with their pretend official stuff, 2005. So yeah, if you look at the episode listing for Manhattan Madness, it exactly lines up with the 2 UK DVDs minus one episode, Ragnarok and Roll, for whatever reason. Maybe they were like, we need to cut that episode so we have more time for our weird intro. But you look at the episode listing for these 2 DVDs and it makes it very clear where OS Films got their episodes. It's even the exact same order as these 2 UK DVDs, which is just kind of randomly jumping around the syndicated runs, so that makes it even more obvious. The video quality on Manhattan Madness isn't horrible or anything, but directly comparing the video to the Time Life DVDs, you can see that the image has gotten a fair amount softer. The aspect ratio has also been squished a bit vertically due to an imperfect transfer of the video back to NTSC from PAL. There is, however, no PAL speed-up though, due to the original UK DVD transfers actually having been corrected for this, which is rather surprising.
There's nothing in my job description about target practice.
Peter, this is irrational behavior.
No, Egon. Finding the refrigerator empty, that's irrational. Slime in my shoes, that's irrational. This'll be fun.
So you might be wondering where OS Films got this artwork from. Did they draw something original? No. I have the exact source that this picture came from right here. The Real Ghostbusters 1989 Annual, which was released in the UK. You might be noticing a pattern here, so yeah, I think we can say that OS Films was definitely based in the UK. So, it's not just the DVD's cover. This Manhattan Madness intro also utilizes the UK Real Ghostbusters comics that were published by Marvel UK. It features a roll call for the 4 Ghostbusters, sliding across a page from the comics, but with an episode still in place of one of the panels, which will be used to feature each character.
Well, I've seen enough.
After the intro runs down each Ghostbuster, it briefly turns into a little music video before transitioning into the menu.
Who you gonna call?
You might notice, though, that this is actually using the original Ray Parker Jr. version of the Ghostbusters theme, where, of course, the Real Ghostbusters series used a cover by John Smith. This is another clue that this release isn't on the level, because there's no way OS Films licensed that version of the song just for this release of random Real Ghostbusters episodes. You know what plays on the menu of the official DVDs that they stole these episodes from? Absolutely nothing! Yep, pure, we don't have to pay anything extra for this silence. The 3 North American episode compilation DVDs I have do the exact same thing. No flashiness at all to them, no animations, and no music. Even this Australian release of the first season of Real Ghostbusters does the same thing, and that one does have a little bit of effort to it, as it actually had subtitle options and included the dubs for the German, French, and Spanish versions of the episodes on it. So there were a lot of pains taken to try and sell this as being an official release, but really, a lot of the extra effort on this DVD set goes against what they're trying to accomplish here. So, yeah, it is quite sad when this bootleg tries a bit harder in some aspects than certain official releases. I mean, even on the discs here, look at this stupid Volume 7 next to the Manhattan Madness one. They printed color there at least. The UK discs they copied do as well, but they're both just the UK version flipped no ghost logo. The official DVDs should have maybe tried using some artwork from the comics, because boy are some of these covers wonky. I mean, just look closely at the group here, and just especially Peter.
Aim for the flat top!
And of course, you remember Peter's purple jumpsuit from the show. The intro too, having this OS Films Presents an Ivan Reitman production, is off. Like, you'll usually see the logo for a DVD distributor pop up, but not so much them doing custom titles like this just to throw a few random episodes onto a disc. An Ivan Reitman production as well is not exactly correct for the real Ghostbusters. Ivan Reitman, of course, still got credit for directing and producing the original movie on the show's credits, but he didn't actually work directly on the cartoon. And yet another large red flag is a couple of misspellings during the cast call. They got Winston and Egon's last names wrong. I guess to be fair to Manhattan Madness, though, this misspelling of Zeddemore was also present on the original credits for the 1984 movie. However, Egon Spanglar is a completely new wrong way to spell Egon's name.
Well, I've seen enough.
After the intro finishes, you get the annual artwork used on the cover that slowly transitions in, and then the menu options also slowly flip in. I mention this because this is one of the largest failings of this DVD. If you dare to go back to the menu after starting an episode, you're gonna have to sit through the entire intro and menu animations again, and this is not quick. It takes 1 minute and 45 seconds before you are allowed to make a choice on the menu again. I guess those bare bones menus aren't looking too bad at this point. Obviously, though, the Time Life menus are the nicest balance of having some flash to it, but they don't take forever to be usable. The Time Life ones utilize the instrumental version of the later remix of the theme used on the show. But it'll never not be funny to me that generic spooky dooky theme they used on the later Sony releases. That almost comes off more bootleg than the bootleg here. OS Films also forgot one very important thing on their release too. Unrelated trailers.
Jumanji, the deluxe edition.
I am not afraid of anything.
I ain't afraid of no ghosts.
I'm sure you'll be surprised to hear that this DVD is well out of print. I'm not sure how long they got away with this, but it doesn't seem very long as these are quite rare to come by. It took me several years of keeping an eye out before I was able to pick one of these up. And because OS Films is kind of a generic name and has been used by several unrelated entities since, it's hard to try and find anything on them. So, I'm not sure if they ever tried this again with another franchise or not. Also, shout out to Spook Centrals. They did a write-up on this DVD back when it came out, and I believe that was the first place I saw that this existed and started my obsession with finding the stupid thing. Hey, wait a second, the Time Life compilations have a distorted No Ghost logo on the back, but that's copyright of OS Films! According to the Simpsons parody Ghost, which appeared in Real Ghostbusters, this DVD set is the original appearance of Itchy from Itchy and Scratchy, so that's probably true.